Why it is interesting to repot a tomato plant. However, they say in April, don't shed a thread. In May, do as you please. But be careful, in May there is always a risk of cold. And if you release this kind of tomato plant into the wild, for sure, it will be ruined. You must understand, if you plant a tomato pot, even in May, not all the advantages will be on its side. First it takes root, then the nights are relatively quite cool. It will stall, it will take time to restart. Whereas it is possible to repot them earlier in larger pots so they can strengthen. Thus, it will be much stronger, it will be better able to withstand bad weather. So how do we do it? If you receive or obtain tomatoes in 7 or even 9 cm pots, there are even smaller ones. You will use a pot, you will make your compost, and you can find universal potting soil in stores quite easily. Universal potting soil is very, very good. Otherwise, personally, I use my compost from a 7 or even 9 cm pot. I try to find a 12 cm pot, always using recycled pots. So I repot them and place them in new compost, in new potting soil. And this tomato plant will continue its development. Only I don't put it outside in the open wind, I shelter it. You can put it under a tunnel, you can place it on a terrace. For example, well sheltered with a small plastic film over it or a winter cover. And it will continue to develop. Once it is well developed, after about 2 weeks, then at that point we will change the pot. We will use a container, a much larger pot, perhaps even a final pot, always with compost, the same compost, universal potting soil. If you have it and you unpot your tomato plant, you place it in a large pot, always with this slightly compacted compost. You water it properly the first time, and you can continue to maintain it sheltered from frost. Not before May 15th on your balcony, under a tunnel, for example, and you will plant permanently after May 15th. You can also leave it in the same pot if you are growing indoors under a tunnel. To keep it simple, allow about 2 weeks between repottings. What is important is that the plants are sufficiently developed, sufficiently rooted to change pots